Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled Evans City Council meeting for Tuesday, March 18, 2025. My name is Mark Clark. I'm the mayor. I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get roll call, please?
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pletka.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Neal.
Present.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Delaney.
Here.
Councilmember Fair.
All right. Next item on the agenda, audience participation. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to address City Council that's not on the agenda or of a public hearing? If so, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I see none, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, approval of the agenda. Madam Clerk, is there any changes to the agenda?
No, Mayor.
All right, I'd entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Go ahead and vote.
Two thumbs up for Fred and myself, right?
All right, and that motion passes unanimously. All right, next item on the agenda, consent agenda. Let's see, let me go back here. All right, on the consent agenda. All right, item number 6A, approval of the March 4, 2025 City Council meeting minutes. Item 6B, consideration of ordinance number 839-25 concerning documents related to the construction and financing of the new police station and renovation of existing police facilities, second reading. Item 6C, consideration of resolution number 04-2025, amending the 2025 fee schedule to update fire impact fees. Item number 6D, consideration of lease agreement with the Evans Area Chamber of Commerce. And I would entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion and a second. Want to approve the consent agenda? Vote.
Yeah.
All right, and that motion carries unanimously. All right, next item on the agenda under new business, item number 7A, public hearing, consideration of a retail liquor store off-premises liquor license for Musa Liquor and Spirits LLC at 825 34th Street in Evans. I will go ahead and open up the public hearing. We'll hear from staff.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. This is Curtis Cunningham, the Operations and Strategic Planning Analyst filling in for the City Clerk. The city received an application for a new liquor license from Musa Liquor Spirits LLC. This application is in consideration of a retail liquor store liquor license to sell alcoholic beverages for consumption off the premises located at 825 31st Street. The city will be acting as a quasi-judicial role as the local licensing authority to consider approval of this retail liquor store liquor license. If this license is approved by the City Council, liquor license will be processed and finalized with the State Liquor Enforcement Division. In the city's role as the liquor licensing authority, the approval of the new liquor license must be based on the following findings regarding reasonable requirements of the neighborhood, the desire of the adult inhabitants of the neighborhood, and the moral character of the applicants. The city received the application on July 29th, and the notice of the public hearing of this matter was posted on the property published in the Greeley Tribune on or before March 7th, 2025. The applicant is entitled to the possession of the premises. The applicant has applied for the state sales tax license and city business sales tax license. The property is zoned in C3, regional commercial and retail use indoors, which includes liquor store per section 18.02.020.d.44 of the Evans Municipal Code, and excuse me, and are allowed use in the right of C3 zone. This does not appear to be within 500 feet of the proximity of the school. The applicant conducted a survey within a 1 mile radius of the premises to convey the needs of the desire of the neighborhood. The petition returned 59 residences in favor of the proposed liquor license, with 5 residents opposed. 16 businesses in favor of the proposed liquor license, with 0 businesses opposed. There is 1 other retail liquor store license within the 1 mile radius of 825 31st Street. And you also have the attached memorandum from the Evans Police Department, which shows that no information was found when they conducted their background checks on the moral character of the applicant. Staff does find that this application has submitted all the, or the applicant has submitted all the necessary information for a new liquor license application. And I do know that the liquor license applicant is in presence today.
Yes, sir.
So if you guys have any questions for them, you guys can direct them towards them.
All right, great. Thank you, Curtis. Does anybody have any questions of staff and or of the applicant?
I have a curiosity question. Is this building leased or owned?
Councilmember Neal, can you use your request to speak, please?
No, I can't. I'm locked out of my iPad.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then.
Is this building owned by the, or leased? I'm just curious.
So it is a leased premises.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you, Councilmember Neal. Any other additional questions of staff and or of the applicant?
We do have a presentation that might help. If you're very short, talking about the application.
Absolutely.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Can
Lisa?
you state your name for the record?
My name is Chris Holchin, registration number 8321, and I'm representing the applicant. And I have with me Moses Sawagat. He's the owner of the applicant. He's 100% owner. And we're just going to talk about some items for you that I think would be good to put on the record. Moses, do you want to state your name and address then?
Yes, my name is Musa, M-O-U-S-A, last name Sawaget, S-A-W-A-G-E-D. My address is 11347 Ranch Reserve Parkway, Westminster, Colorado, 80234.
And let's talk first about your experience in the liquor industry.
I came to the United States in 1975 and worked for Union Pacific for almost 20-some years. In 1992, I quit and I opened a liquor store in Salem, Oregon for a couple of years. Then I went to Seattle, Washington, and Vancouver, Washington. And 2000, I moved into Colorado because most of my family live here. And I opened a liquor store on 90th and Federal, and I ran it for 10 years. And thanks God, I never have any problem. And after that, I sold it and retired. But my son, he bought a lot there, a Family Dollar store in Evan, and he leased it for 6-7 years. Then Family Dollar store walked away a couple of years ago. And we have the place for lease, for rent for last year, and nobody ever look at it and rent it. So we decided to remodel the whole thing, put a new face on it, a new asphalt, a new light, everything we can, and open a liquor store in it. Maybe help the town, help us too.
And you said you never had a liquor violation in all those years?
No, I never have anyone.
And have you taken the liquor training recently?
Yes, I did. And I'm taking another one, actually a new one, in March 25th from 5 to 7.
And how many employees are going to be at the store?
I think I'm gonna start 2 on myself and maybe 3 on myself later on.
So total of later on of 5?
Yeah, we probably take a year or so to get to 5, but right now we try 3.
And what are your business hours going to be?
My business hour is gonna be Monday to Friday from 10 to 10, and Saturday and Sunday is gonna be 9 to 10.
Okay. And so you said this is the Family Dollar store that was.
Was Family Dollar store, and I
Right.
think everyone knows about it.
And
And it's been closed for almost 2 years. And we brought it for rent, for sale. We did everything we can, and we have no luck with it. So we decided to open it ourselves.
well, apparently the public wants it because your survey results
Yeah.
for 94%.
Yeah, I believe it. I've been, actually, I did many liquor stores in my life because I buy and fix it and sell it. And this is the highest one I ever have, mostly 80, 75, 75. This one I got, I think 94 plus, which is very good. Thank you, guys.
So are you, so the store's about 7,700 square feet?
Yes, it's 7,725.
And about how much are you going to be putting in inventory?
Oh, it's gonna be at least to start with $400, just $300,000 just to cover the shelf right now.
So what'd you say, three
Three to 400,000.
Okay. And we do have, we would like to substitute a new diagram for the one in the application. Number one, the one in the application is pretty, it's pretty hard to read. And secondly, when you're remodeling the store,
Yeah.
what happened? You wanted to put in more coolers or
Well,
something?
yeah, because when Family Dollar store he decided to leave, what we did, he have problem with the rent, so we take whatever he have the stuff inside. I think he have like a 22, 24 watt shelf cooler, and he have a lot of shelf and cash register. So we bought everything from him. But for liquor store, to have a liquor store, really good liquor store, you have to have walk-in cooler. So we went over there, bought a good walk-in cooler, and we put it on right-hand side the store.
So you're putting in a walk-in cooler, and I just mentioned that was not on the diagram that is in the application. So we
Yes.
wanted to get it in there. And that's going to give you, how many cooler doors did you say?
I'd be told I have 45 door.
So it's going to be pretty,
That's going to be, I think, very good size liquor store. I think be the biggest one here, my thinking.
and what's your inventory mix going to be like? How much liquor, how much beer?
Oh, we're gonna do like a 35% with beer and 65 with wine and liquor, and probably 5% miscellaneous is gonna be stuff, to help the liquor store with the people come in and buy some soda and something else and cigarette.
When are you going to open?
As soon as you give me the license, I'm waiting.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Great, thank you very much for the presentation. Anybody have any questions for the applicant? All right, I don't see any questions from the applicant. I'm assuming there's no rebuttal. So I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Oh, sorry, before I close the public hearing, is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak for or against this item? Please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I see
I'm
that.
on Zoom. Do you hear me? This is Carol Johnson from Liquor Pros. If you have any questions, I have our report to review if you have any questions. You hear me?
Thank you,
Yes, we
Carol.
can hear you.
Yeah, Liquor
ahead.
Pros did the survey, so Carol's here in case you have any questions about the survey.
Go over it for you or answer any questions, whichever you would prefer.
I asked staff if they have any questions or actually asked council if they've had any questions, and they don't seem to have any. So I think unless somebody pops up with a question here in the next minute, I think we're good.
Okay, thank you. I'm just here
Thank
to
you.
help if you,
Great,
Thank
I
you,
appreciate it.
Carol. Appreciate it.
thank you.
All right, is there anybody in the audience for or against this item? Assuming not.
I see
All right,
none.
I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and any comments from council. I'm excited to have this business open in Evans. I really appreciate you considering Evans for your business, and I hope your business is very profitable and have a prosperous business. So welcome to Evans if this gets approved, and we'll look forward to working with you.
Thank you. I hope you be my first customer.
I just want to say I appreciate the fact that you're opening a business because I know you tried to sell it and lease it and what have you, and it didn't work out. So the simple fact that you're actually opening a business and you remedied the situation by doing that is great for us, and I hope it's a great thing for you too. And welcome, we welcome you to Evans.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no other comments, I'd entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the retail liquor store license for Musa Liquor and Spirits LLC located at 825 31st Street. We'll go ahead and vote. All right, and that motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope I see all you guys over there.
You will. All right, next item on the agenda, item number 7B, approval of contract for the Hunter Reserve Park construction. We'll hear from staff.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. For the record, Peter Wysocki, Assistant City Manager representing the Parks and Recreation Department this evening. And this request is for approval of a construction contract for Hunter's Reserve Park. Dating back to October 1st, the council saw the presentation on the conceptual design. And just as background information, this is a design build project. The design contract was approved in May of 2024. The park design was presented to the council October 1st, 2024. It was actually my first council meeting. And now we are seeking approval of the construction contract with Broadview Landscape Development to basically get into the second phase of the design build project. Here is just as a reminder, the design of the project. If you recall, the project includes turf area, playground equipment, picnic benches, trash receptacles, so on and so forth. At the October 1st meeting, the council did request that the staff look at a couple of different design alternatives. The first one is parallel for parking along 29th Avenue. It is not part of the contract itself, but it is illustrated on the conceptual design. That's something that we can certainly evaluate with the 29th Avenue project. This would likely add additional cost to the park construction itself, as we would have to redesign the curb and gutter and sidewalk and so on and so forth. The second alternative that is included in the construction contract is the pour-in-place surface for the playground area. So that has been included in the final design and construction costs. So quick summary. The Teams bar is hiding the title of the columns, but the total project budget estimate was $853,000. The design and construction actual numbers are at $841,991, so about $11,000 under the estimated project budget. Funding, of course, for this project is coming from the Park Impact Fee Fund. It will roll over into the fiscal year 25 budget. We are recommending a $75,000 contingency for the project, and recommend approval of the construction project, the contract not to exceed $817,391.66. Very excited about this project. I will note that We are now waiting, just securing construction manager and project inspector for the project. So as soon as we secure those services, we will go ahead and proceed with the project. It is anticipated that the project will be completed late August of 2025, so pretty aggressive schedule, but we're very excited to get this going. So with that, I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you, Peter, for the presentation. If anybody has any questions, please use your request to speak. I'm not seeing any questions. If there's no questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
Mark, I have a question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, was the on-street parking, did you say that was included in this?
This is not included.
Okay. Is that something we're still considering? I wasn't real clear on that. Or is it-
I think long-term, that is something that can be considered. But there would be obviously some impacts to 29th Ave design that go beyond the scope of a park improvement project.
Yeah, I was just curious. I'm not in favor of that, adding on-street parking on a main arterial street. That's
We're not.
I was curious about. Okay.
I think there was some concern about how much parking or what the traffic impact would be on some of the local streets to the backside of the park. So we were asked just to kind of evaluate. We looked at a kind of a pull-in, pull-out parking within the property, on the property itself, but there is somewhat of an elevation change, and then we'd reduce the park area itself. So the space is there to do on-street parallel, but I don't think that it's, at this point, is a preferred alternative on our end.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, any other additional questions or comments? All right, hearing and seeing none, I'd entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion and a second to award the Hunters Reserve Park construction contract to Brightview Landscape Development Incorporated in the amount of $742,391.66 and allocate $75,000 to be available for use as a construction contingency only with approval of the city manager for an amount not to exceed $817,391.66. Go ahead and vote. All right, and that motion passes unanimously, 7-0. All right, thank you, Peter, for the presentation. All right, next item on the agenda, item 8A, City Manager Reports.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I just have one quick update for you, and then we'll bring Ty and Robbie back up to discuss the 2025 State Compliance Inspection Report for the wastewater treatment plant. We got an update yesterday morning, so as of Monday, we've received approximately 300 responses to our public poll for the mill levy campaign. We're currently working one final push to get as much information as we can. So we've had some voyant alerts go out. We've got some information on our website. I believe tomorrow the contractor or the consultant is going to send out another text reminder to the public. So if there's any surveys out there that we can get those finished by the end of the week. The consultant has mentioned that they can have the information quantified for us by the end of the week, so we'll have a pretty good idea of where things stand with the mill levy campaign, hopefully by the close of business on Friday. Once I have that information, I'll certainly share it with the City Council so we know where we stand with that project. So with that, if we could have Robbie and Ty come back up real quick to provide the 2025 State Compliance Inspection Report for the wastewater treatment plant. This was our second item tonight in the work session, but certainly we ran out of time. So, Ty, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Ty Boreski, Public Works and Utilities Director, here with Robbie Porras, Wastewater Superintendent. We're just going to give a brief summary of our 2025 State Wastewater Compliance Inspection. There's, I think, a few ways to look at these. You can look at them as a bit of a test, or, you know, something to worry about. I think for myself and Robbie and his team, we look at it as an external set of eyes, the one opportunity every 3 to 5 years. We have someone that gets to come in and say, hey, here's some areas where you could be a little more efficient in how you operate. So I'm going to turn it over to Robbie, and he's just kind of going to summarize what that process looked like and what the findings were.
I thank you, City Council and Mayor. So with a compliance inspection, in essence, you could look at it as almost a financial audit. They go through all of our records, both our reports that we send to CDPHE as well as our bench sheets for testing. They go through everything. They do a physical inspection of our lab and our treatment processes. I included in the staff report kind of a list of everything that they asked for and that we sent them, and we had to set up a Google Drive just to house everything. But I will say this compliance inspection was my first real one with the treatment facility. They inspected our facility in March of 2019, which was barely a year after we've been in operation. This one coming well after that. It was a great experience. There are two types of inspectors, and we got one of the good ones. One of the ones who wants to come in and help publicly owned treatment works, make sure they're standing up to their permit, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate him finding where we were lacking, because there's one thing I wanted, me and my staff, we want to do it right. So if we weren't doing something, we want to know we weren't doing it so we can do it. With that being said, the results letter was sent to Cody on February 20th, which was about a month and 2 weeks after the actual inspection. There was 0 major findings. Major findings are blatant violations of a discharge permit. We had the division will follow up with you on and continue to work with you on, and if severe enough and blatant enough, could result in fines. Other findings is another category. These may or may not be violations of a discharge permit, and this is also where the state may or may not follow up with you. And this is a place where the state also houses things that could be major findings, but were corrected by the permittee before the issuance of the letter. We had 3 other findings. One was for flow meter calibration. I'll be honest, it fell off my radar. It's something we do once a year, and I had a Outlook invite set up for it, and it expired. And it fell off my radar. We were able to get that third-party verification and inspection of our flow meters completed before the issuance of the letter, so that went to a other finding. We also, I did not know that it was not in our maintenance software. I have since added our flow meters into our maintenance software, so those tasks do not expire. Through this process, we also learned that our effluent flow meter, which is a partial flume, can be calibrated in-house as long as it's done on a monthly basis. So we have set up that program to calibrate our effluent flow meter monthly in-house. Another major finding was an error reporting on one of our discharge monitoring reports, specifically October of 2024. During that reporting period, we had a few pH violations that I concentrated on, and frankly spaced that we had an operator fail to read out a BOD sample on Sunday, which invalidated the test run that is required 3 times per week. So we only had 2 results per week for 1 week of that month. So I actually brought that to the inspector's attention when we went over that month's DMR and all the reporting. So that would have been a major finding. I corrected that the same day, and it was moved to the other findings category. The third item that was other findings, for our whole effluent toxicity testing, that's the canary in the coal mine council has heard me talk about, where we take a sample and put little fish and Daphne in it to see if they actually survive. There's a dilution series that they use, and we were using the wrong dilution series. This was a holdover from our old Evans treatment permit when we took that facility offline and put our new facility online. I just told them, hey, we need to continue our wet testing, but we need to switch permit numbers. And I did not think at all about the dilution series. So we were using, I think it was like 6%, 12%, 25%, 50%, and 100% effluent when we were supposed to be using 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. We emailed the lab to correct this issue. The lab emailed us back to verify they had updated our records for the new dilution series. That was sent to our state inspector and since moved to other findings. I will say we have run our wet testing, and we did it in mid-February, and the lab did correctly update our dilution series, so we are good going forward. The third category is observations and recommendations. This is stuff that isn't a permit violation, but the division may want you to consider doing or look at. Also, it's kind of an area where the division in between inspections makes site-specific notes for the facility. Most of ours were site-specific notes. One holdover from the last inspection was our organic loading. He just noting that we were at and around that 80% capacity. I did share with him that we're currently in the design phase, and we may pursue a paper re-rate, giving council, information, getting information to council. Another one was chemical addition. So the alum we use in our permit, or in the facility, was part of the engineering design, part of the engineering design approval, part of our permit application. I submitted a supplemental chemical improvement form in 2018. Never made it in our permit. And was also noted in our 2019 inspection. So as I said, this is kind of a carryover and our inspector literally said, that's permit's fault. You did everything you need to do. He made an observation on our pretreatment program, and that was something we're putting on the front burner after recent pH issues at the treatment facility. Council was great enough to approve our pretreatment language several years ago, but we hadn't had an issue, so it was one of those lower level priorities. Now it has become an upper level priority given recent occurrences, so we are plowing headfirst into that and hopefully have our program up and rolling before the end of the year. And otherwise, it was noting our sanitary sewer overflow response. We were adequate in every way to the letter of the law. The state would prefer any sanitary sewer overflow, even if it doesn't reach state waters, be reported. We did not report one that had the consistency of 10 gallons that was soil absorbed that we dug out and replaced the soil in the backyard. But they make a note of that with every inspection. The letter of the law is if it has the potential to reach state waters. That did not have the potential to reach state waters, but they would prefer, just for their own tracking, if every overflow is reported. And then the facility runs on a stormwater no exposure permit, so we don't actually have like a physical testing. We certify that our facility has the activities in our facility has no potential to affect stormwater or reach stormwater, so the facility was inspected to meet that permit as well as part of our main discharge permit. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
And I just want to add that, I think part of what the theme from this is how quickly Robbie and his team moved to address deficiencies that were identified. As much as we want to be perfect, with the state only checking in every 3 to 5 years, there's going to be a few small things that, may have even been missed on a previous inspection, like the one that was the dilution factor rolled over. So I just want to say I appreciate the work of the team and making sure that any of the more concerning findings were addressed very quickly and moved into that other findings category.
Yeah, I want to say thanks, Robbie, for your integrity of bringing that to our attention and letting us know that they were issues, but you and your team got on it and corrected it. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I agree with that. I do appreciate your transparency and also your accountability. You're like, I didn't do this and I corrected it. So it's refreshing.
As I said, my team and I, we want to make sure we're doing everything correctly. And if we're not, we want it brought to our attention so we can correct it.
Even for us, as long as we know what's going on, we want you to have a good facility to work in. So
Anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, hearing and seeing none. All right, thanks guys for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, city attorney.
Mayor, I don't have anything.
All right, great. All right, next item, council discussion. I just have one thing real quick to bring up. As we know, Councilmember Fair is our newest council member, and we all have committee assignments. Most of us are all in our committee assignments that are assigned for the next, couple years. So I'm going to try to plug him into a couple committee assignments. I'll get that sent out. And if there's anything that you guys would like to see or change on it, please let me know and we'll do a discussion at the April 1st work session. So that's all I have. Anybody else have anything for council discussion?
Mayor, can you give us a kind of like a list when we do discuss it now that we have a new council member of who has what, just so we are all aware?
Yep, we'll get that sent out to everybody to take a look at. And if there's anything you want to change or any preference that you would like to have, yes, please let me know.
Sounds
And
good.
then we'll
Now that we have a newbie.
Yeah, and we'll discuss it at our April 1st meeting.
Awesome, thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything? All right, well, hearing and seeing none, I appreciate everybody's time and thank you for everything. And we'll go ahead and meet and adjourn. So thank you. We'll see you all at the next council meeting in person.